Ubisoft is at the point of no return. If they don't radically change right now, the company will cease to exist, much like the Prince of Persia remake. In the last 5 years, Ubisoft's stock has dropped by over 74%. Their entire company is worth less than Bungie. They only make one game. You wanna know how this happened? Come here, let me tell you the tale of Darth Ubisoft, the frickin' idiot. Back in 1986, 5 French brothers founded a software company in France. Fast forward to 2011 and their company, Ubisoft, had grown to be one of the largest software companies in the entire world. Things were going pretty well for the company. They had a number of successful game series including Rayman, Prince of Persia, Assassin's Creed, and anything with Tom Clancy's name on it. Mr. Ubi was on top of the world. Little did he know though, that in a few months they would release a game that would change the fate of the company forever. November 29th. 2012. Ubisoft just released the 3rd entry in one of their most popular series, Far Cry 3. This game revolutionized the open world genre. Copies were flying off the shelves faster than you can say.
The definition of insanity is...
It was universally praised, being nominated for tons of Game of the Year awards. In particular, the island the game takes place on was celebrated as feeling like a living world, rather than just a landscape for you to walk through. And who could forget Voss, the absolute legend of a villain? Well, not you, because I just showed him like 20 seconds ago, so. The massive success of Far Cry 3 convinced Ubisoft they had found the winning formula. They began recreating the same open world design in many of their franchises, including Assassin's Creed and Ghost Recon. I mean, they even made brand new series like The Division and Watch Dogs just to do the same thing. What's the point? That's like calling up 5 different pizza parlors and ordering pepperoni pizza from every single one. If I only wanted one type of pizza over and over, I would just order from the best pizza place and ignore the rest, much like what's happening with some of these games. Over the last decade, gamers have become tired with the Ubisoftification of open world games. It's not just Ubi anymore. Now tons of developers are following their example. Sony made Horizon. Square Enix has Forspoken. Warner Brothers created Shadow of Mordor. If there's a new open world game coming out, it's a coin toss as to whether or not it'll be a Ubi-style game. Oh look, another big open world collectathon with almost nothing to do besides fight repetitive enemies and unlock new map points by climbing some kind of tower. Oh wow, I can't really see the game because there's so much UI being slammed in my face 24/7. Chest here, tower there. Collectible to the left, same enemy you fought the last 50 fights to the right. Here's a mission that's just like the ones you've been doing for the last 10 hours. Oh look, you raised your regional level, now let's fight the area boss so we can move on to a new place and do the same thing for another 10 hours. If we do that 3 or 4 times, we'll beat the game. I mean, Ubisoft titles are like the game equivalent of working in a dead-end office job. You do the same thing every day. You don't really enjoy being there, but you feel like you have to. You don't like the presence of the people around you. And at the end, you're left feeling unfulfilled and you wonder what the point of it all was. Nobody wants to deal with that feeling in real life and in the games that are supposed to take them away from that. Video games aren't supposed to feel like checking things off your to-do list. They're supposed to be fun. But it's not just that. Oh no. Ubisoft is facing a lot more issues than just having mediocre games. In the last few months, they've canceled 3 unannounced games and delayed Skull and Bones, the 6th time. How could they possibly be failing so bad that 3 games were considered worthless by their subterranean standards? How is Skull and Bones still not ready after 5 delays? It was supposed to be an expansion to 2013's Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Knock knock Ubisoft, we're in a new decade. Maybe they're focusing all their efforts on their biggest game, Rainbow Six Siege. Let me tell you, I have 1,000 hours in that game, and in its current state, I would rather soak my pancakes in a vat of vinegar and douse them in soy sauce than play Siege. They're not doing very good work on that game. Far Cry 6 didn't sell well, their NFT projects burned and not even Mario could save them. Ghost Recon Breakpoint failed as a live service game, Hyperscape was shut down after less than 2 years, and Rainbow Six Extraction never even deserved to exist. Why are all these games so awful? I'll give you 2 reasons. 1, they're rushed, and 2, the human beings working on them are miserable. Red Dead Redemption 2 came out 8 years after the first game, and it's one of the best games of its entire generation. Assassin's Creed Odyssey came out 1 year after Origins, which came out 2 years after Syndicate, which came out 1 year after Unity. And none of these games are even a fraction as good as Red Dead. Ubisoft's strict 2-year release schedule is to blame for this. That's not enough time for anyone to make a good game. Rockstar consistently makes some of the best and highest selling games of all time, and they take a long time to make them. Has no one in upper management at Ubisoft looked at how Rockstar develops games and decided to mimic them? I actually think the developers at Ubisoft are great at what they do because frankly, it's astounding that there is a game to play at all after 2 to 3 years in development. If Ubi doesn't slow down the release schedule and let their devs focus on quality rather than quantity, the company will die. And let's talk about those devs, shall we? The people that pour their blood, social life happiness, personal fulfillment, and tears into making Ubisoft's games. How are they treated? Horribly. I can't tell you exactly how it is because YouTube doesn't like a lot of the words that describe the situation, but suffice to say that Ubisoft's leadership would get along great with their peers over at Activision Blizzard. They're a bunch of grass-allergic, maidenless, pathetic losers. It's hard for people to focus on making great games when there's an ugly, oversized rodent bothering them. If Ubisoft wants to save itself from its own impending doom, it needs to purge the bacteria plaguing it. People that are suspected of harassment should be investigated, and everyone found guilty of such charges should be fired, blacklisted, and handed over to the authorities with all evidence of criminal activity. Active offenders shouldn't be in an office, they should be in a prison cell. Nobody should have to work under such nightmarish conditions, and leadership should be held accountable for their actions. Ubi CEO and third brother of the Ubisoft 5, Yves Guillemot, needs to step down. He has failed to lead the company down a path of success, and he has failed in his duty as a leader to protect his employees. If these changes don't happen now, Ubisoft has no future as a gaming company, and it doesn't deserve it. Hey, check out this video that explains why you aren't having fun with gaming anymore.
It's not a game.